Disclosure. All information is public record. This is our own opinion. We are not making fun of anyone or anything. This is all for entertainment.
Welcome back to our channel. We're going to be listening to Kaylor talk today.
Yeah, we are. This one's messed up. All right. Before we start, I just want to give a warning in this video. We're going to be talking about SA, harm of children, pedos, cannibalism, strangulation, and a mishmash of a whole bunch of other things. So if any of this does not, sit right with you, please go watch one of our other videos or next week when a new video comes out. You watch Criminal Minds?
Yes, all the time. It's my favorite.
Criminal Minds is I love that show. My dad's been watching it at night.
My favorite crime show is Criminal Minds.
Yeah. Do you remember the episode where I can't really remember it, but I remember this one part where it's like a big search party, I think for a child or for somebody, and a man brings a big pot of chili, and I think either Spencer was like, he's feeding the victim to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy, it's not about this guy, but kind of what he had did with that, feeding people food, feeding them with humans, is kind of
so they took pieces of this case and used it for
an episode. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is about it. The person we're going to be talking about is Nathan Bar-Jonah. He was also known David Paul Brown. He changed his name later on. We'll talk about that, but just for the sake of everything, we're going to just call him Nathan. So Nathan was born in Worcester, Massachusetts on February 15th, 1957. Starting at the age of 6, he would pick at his scabs until they festered up, and then he would suck on the blood.
Ew.
Yeah, it was really gross. His mother was called multiple times out to the school just because of the weird stuff he would do and say, and it would bother the students and the teachers. And
yeah, if I saw some kid sitting next to me in 3rd grade picking his scabs and sucking his blood out his arm, I'd be upset too.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I'm a picker. I pick up my nails, and I wouldn't be
my nails. No,
sucking all that stuff.
Ooh.
When he was 7, in the late July of 1964, this is quote unquote, I think it has to be his first victim. He invited a 5-year-old neighborhood girl into his basement, claiming that he had a Ouija board that would predict the future. No, it doesn't. It summons stuff that you don't want to be around. Once he had
no on the Ouija boards.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really touched a Ouija board before.
I have.
Oh, yeah, and your dad get mad?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Once he had her inside in the basement, he then attempted to. He started strangling her, but her screams and cries and everything alerted his mother that was upstairs, and pretty much saved the little girl. And he got little to no punishment at all for that.
Oh.
His mom was probably just hey, don't do it again. But that's how this all starts.
Well, he did something and he got away with it, so why not keep doing it?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of serial killers you see there. Was it one of my fake ones?
Yes, it was.
They're falling out. But it's Jeffrey Dahmer, he was killing birds and animals and stuff, and his father knew about it and he really didn't do anything about it.
Right? No, that whole situation was, usually serial killers, that's one of the things that they do is start killing animals and stuff in the beginning, and
but
that's early signs.
He went straight for the kid. But at the age of 13, he lured another 6-year-old boy from the neighborhood to a hill outside of their housing and stuff, and you just said, hey, you want to go sledding with me? But once he had him in that secluded hill, he then sexually assaulted him. He roped him, in the way people say it on there. Yeah. A 6-year-old boy. He was 13, a 6-year-old boy. He did that too. During his senior year of high school.
So his first victim was a girl.
Yeah.
And this one was a boy. Mm-hmm. So he's not discriminating on.
No, he's not like with, I don't think it's anything with race or anything. It's just children.
Okay.
But during his high school years, he impersonated this is the first time he impersonated a police officer for the first time and abducted an 8-year-old boy, Richard O'Connor, while he was on his way to school. He then sexually assaulted him and strangled him inside his car. A neighbor observed the whole situation that was happening and called the police. The police officer rescued the little boy, and he was unconscious and almost dead, like when they got to him. So, I don't know.
And does he get anything for this?
He does. At that time, at the arrest and everything, he was sentenced to an unknown amount of probation. So he didn't get jail time; he just got probation for it. That's where that just makes me so mad. Excuse me. He then, while he was on probation and stuff, it was just a few days before he graduated. Nathan did, and he drove to Hartford, Connecticut, and impersonated a police officer again. So he left where he was at, and he drove to another part of Connecticut and impersonated a police officer again. This time, he abducted a 9-year-old girl and proceeded to sexually assault her in his car. But when she started throwing up and like convulsing and everything, he kind of just threw her out of his car, and he like just drove away. But a witness got the license plates from his car, and he was arrested for the new incident. But however, when this whole arrest with the girl was never reported back to his probation officer, and they were just, so he never got charged with violation of parole and all that.
Violation of probation.
Parole, yeah.
What? Here's what I don't understand when you got this happening. So this is what, number 4.
Mm.
Do judges and like the court system not look at back things?
Apparently not.
I mean, they're just getting this and doing one by one, and they're not seeing his pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So then just nothing's done. I mean, it's just so crazy to me that you don't look back at things that people have done. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I just don't get that.
This part I don't get, because this part kind of made me mad. Once he was arrested, or once he was released from probation in May of 1967, a letter thanking him for his cooperation. He got a letter thanking him for being such a good person and staying on, not doing anything bad.
Oh my God.
Like, seriously? Just because somebody didn't report. Like, that should have been like, whenever they go to fingerprint him and all that stuff. I mean, this was in the 70s, 1970s. But you would think that they would have some sort of something.
Yeah. Some back info.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On September 24th, 1977, Nathan was then, again, impersonating not a police officer, this time an FBI agent.
Mm.
I don't know why he decided to maybe amp it up a little bit with just from a police to an FBI. But he had abducted 2 boys coming out of a movie theater. He then drove them to a secluded area where he then handcuffed them. Nathan, he was a very obese man. He was very big. He weighed 375 pounds at the time. He left
a big dude.
Yeah. And this is horrible. Like, how he would use that weight for this. He left one of the boys in the trunk, and he took the other one out. And then he attempted to strangle him and then suffocate him with his own body weight. Like, he would sit on him and like was trying to kill him that way.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it was horrible. But so the boy pretended to be dead, and while maintaining like that whole thing of trying to just stay calm and all that, while Nathan was blowing cigarette smoke in his face and like cigarette ash and all that, he still stayed dead until Nathan then left, got in the car, and drove away with the other boy in the trunk. That's when that boy got up and ran and reported it to the police. And the police then tracked down Nathan and saved the other boy that was in the trunk.
That boy was smart.
Yeah, he was. This time he was arrested for attempted murder and served between 18 to 22 years in prison. Oh, I hate this part right here. However, he was transported to Bridgewater State Hospital, where he told a psychiatrist repeatedly that he had sexual fantasies involving murder, torture, and cannibalism. Yeah, I like that whole thing about I just don't understand cannibalism. It's so just go get you a cheeseburger. Like, you want to eat people, right? Like, it's so gross.
Of course, I don't understand any of it really, but
Yeah, I don't understand any. While he was still in the hospital on March 22nd, 1984, he legally changed his name to the one that's present now, the Nathan Bar-Jonah, because he claimed he wanted to honor his Jewish heritage. And he
wasn't changing his damn name to honor no Jewish heritage. He was changing his name hoping he'd get away with some crap when he got out of jail.
Yeah.
If he didn't have the same name, he thought maybe, I can do some more stuff to people and they might think I'm a different person. That's my opinion.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, why now at this time you want to change it?
Yeah.
But he changed it to honor his Jewish heritage, and he wanted I don't know why, but he was released from the hospital in July of 1991. What is beeping?
It's my dishwasher. I'm washing dishes.
But he got released from the hospital in July of 1991. A month later, he saw a 7-year-old boy sitting inside of a car at a post office in Oxford, Massachusetts. Nathan then entered the vehicle and set over on the boy. Like, what? Why? I don't know. But
I guess to hold him down.
Yeah, he just got in the car and was just
a
like,
big dude. He's gonna sit on him and hold him in the seat.
Yeah. But he fled after civilians saw him. Nathan's description was recognized by one of the police officers who arrested him 15 years before, and they arrested him again.
But so changing his name didn't get him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
My thing is, you can change your name, but you can't change your appearance. I mean, you can change your appearance, but you have a lot of money for that. He then claimed that he entered the car because it was raining outside, and he was just waiting for the driver to return so he could ask for a ride home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And as for the boy said he didn't even know that he was there. It kind of just happened all so fast, like whatever. And so any possible injuries was accidental. However, he claimed that he did intend to kill the boy. Yeah. Like he wanted to kill him.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. Like, it was like later on, like when he goes.
Well, like not in this section.
No, not in this section, but like later on when all this stuff was brought to him, he said that, he wanted to kill the boy. For this, Nathan was given 2 years of probation under the conditions that he moved in with his mother in Great Falls, Montana, and never returned to Massachusetts again. Like, get out of here, dude. You're just a horrible person. Go. My thing is like, okay, it doesn't matter where he moves to, he's going to keep doing it.
I know, yeah. It's like, don't do it here in our state anymore, but move somewhere else and do it over there.
Yeah. Go make that them problem, not us
problem. Right. Yeah.
In Great Falls, Nathan started collecting toys and memorabilia. Mostly Star Wars related, and he organized.
Okay, that's that ain't a problem.
No, it ain't.
In Star Wars.
I have one Star Wars thing, and it's my Darth Maul that was signed by Ray Park. Anywho, but that would, and then he would organize yard sales with all those toys and stuff to lure children in.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's like, okay, he could just be doing that, or he's doing that to do this.
Yeah. He's definitely collecting toys to lure children because that's what he wants in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. it doesn't have anything to do with really wanting to be a collector of that item.
He wants to be a collector of children.
Yes.
He pretty much was a collector of that. His first brush in with the law in Montana was in December of 1993, where he was accused of, I don't know if I can say this, he molested a 8-year-old boy he was babysitting. I honestly, from the looks of the guy, of Nathan, I would not trust him with, like, my cat. I don't even have a cat, but if I had a cat, or like with my dog, like,
yeah,
he just looks like a creep. It's horrible. Nathan,
but hang on. Does his mom know that he's done these things in the past?
Oh, she has to know.
And if he's living with his mom, why is she like not saying, don't let him babysit for you? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, that's what I'm saying,
like,
too.
she's got to be like, oh man, no, he's got issues. Don't let him babysit your kids or something. I mean, to keep him away from him.
And like, from the research and everything, I haven't seen anything about another sibling or anything like that, or even his father. So, I mean, like, she could be just, the biggest, that's my baby, and everything. Well, he's a big ass fucking baby because he's huge. But like, I don't understand why the mother's not.
Yeah.
Red flags.
I mean, she could be one of those that's just like, my kid's perfect in every way.
Mm-hmm. He defended himself by stating that he had done that. In reality, he would have killed the boy. So they're saying, like, he was pretty much being like, no, I didn't molest him. Like, if I did, I would have killed him. Like, what? Why would you even say that at all? Like, it's so horrible. But later on, the case...
He honestly sounds kind of dumb.
I think he does have a little bit of, like, mental problems. I mean, it is because, like, he fantasized about cannibalism, all that torture and stuff. So, like, he does have some mental problems.
Yeah. But, I mean, he sounds kind of like, the things that he's doing, he's, like, not being very smart about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The things he's saying, it's like, what?
Yeah. But the case was actually dropped because his lawyer claimed that his right to a speedy trial had been violated. So that whole thing was just kind of like, oh, okay, out the window it goes. Like, they just didn't do anything about it. So this is kind of where it all starts for his downfall and his capture and all that. On February 10th, 1996, like, I was already born at that time, like, when all this was happening. A 10-year-old boy, Zachary Ramez, disappeared on his way to school. Witness said that they saw an off-white vehicle almost running the little boy over, and later encountered he was crying and appeared to be followed by an obese man around the time he disappeared. I mean, why? My thing is, like, all these witnesses are seeing stuff, but it's like, why are none of them jumping into action?
Yeah.
Like, you see somebody almost run over a child, like a 10-year-old, and you're just like, oh no. And they're crying and they're being followed by this creepy, big, huge, obese man.
Yeah.
Like, why did he not jump into it? Why? I'll be like, oh, let me just call the cops. Like, I would have been like, back up.
I know. I mean, you'd be screaming at least and bringing attention to it, trying to get somebody to help.
Because it seems like he's a very, I guess in a way, a skittish man, because he ran away when he got in the car with the boy, he ran away. So, like, why didn't, like, if I would just be like a bear, be like, roar, and then I'll run away.
Yeah. He almost sounds childlike himself.
Like he's not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why he really all started doing this. Like, there was no childhood trauma or anything like that. I think it just was naturally in his brain to do this kind of stuff. But a detective named Bill, this is a weird last name, and I've had trouble trying to figure out how to pronounce it. So bear with me. And
it looks like Belushi.
Belushi?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to call him Bill. So Bill Belushi, who investigated the babysitting incident in December of 1993, he was assigned in to investigate the Zachary's disappearance. Although he's provided a list of registered sex offenders living in the neighborhood by the FBI, Bill discarded it and centered his suspicion on Nathan, who wasn't registered. He was never registered as a sex offender, which I think he should have.
Oh, yeah.
Just because all of his cases were pointed at children. That makes me mad with this whole thing. After an unsuccessful police attempt to enter the house and search, it was a house that was shared with Nathan and his mother because he had moved back in with his mother. So they try to go and search the house, and a search warrant. They were trying to get a search warrant, but the judge turned them down. They were like, nope. Like, no, you don't need a search warrant. Like, no. Like, that one made me, like, why?
Yeah.
Because then again, they try to do it again, and you'll find out. He later found that he had access, that Bill, the detective, found out that Nathan had access to his mother's off-white Toyota Corolla, and that she had the day off that day too. So he had access to her car, and that's the car that was seen following Zach, the little boy. And they said that he then saw him standing in an alley just before Ramsey entered it. So the little boy entered an alley, and they were seeing that Nathan was standing in that alley. Nathan was also wearing a dark blue jacket that day, similar to that of a police officer. So then again, he was trying to impersonate a police officer.
Yeah.
And then he was in a close areas of him whenever he went missing. And he had mentioned his name to an acquaintance a few times before he disappeared. So Nathan was talking to an acquaintance and was saying, like, this kid's name a couple times before he disappeared. So, I mean, like, ding, 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 you got him right there.
Yeah.
But Bill, the detective, he still couldn't get a search warrant. And later on, Nathan moved out of his mother's house and got, I guess, his own apartment. Yeah, it was an apartment. He got another apartment. On December 13th, 1999, Nathan was seen outside of elementary school for a third time in a few days. So, like, they've been seeing him out there.
Yeah, he's sitting out there watching kids.
Mm-hmm. He was wearing a dark blue jacket and a knit cap and was carrying 2 cans of pepper spray and a toy gun and badge.
Gonna impersonate cops again and then use the toy guns to intimidate the kids.
Yeah.
And if he would have been registered as a sex offender, then if he would have been seen outside that school, they would have been able to arrest him right there. Mm-hmm. But he never was, right?
Yeah. Well, he did, this time with this whole one right here, he did get arrested. Because the detective, Bill, and like all of his other colleagues were like, no, like, just don't put yourself, like, we need to focus on this case. Why are you so focused on that one?
Yeah.
So they charged him with impersonating as a cop and carrying a concealed weapon. It was a toy gun. But I mean, anybody could be a weapon. A judge finally, after that arrest, they approved a search warrant for both his mother's house and his new address for Nathan. So Nathan's mother and the new address that he was living at. Inside of the house, they found 2 coats, one dark blue and another with a toy badge in the pocket. A second toy badge was found, a stun gun, and a baseball cap reading security enforcement. Like, now you, like, there you go. There's everything. Mm-hmm. Like, you could have had that stuff forever ago if you just proved it the first time. This is where it starts getting a little bit bad. I mean, everything else is bad, but this is where everything just really opens a can of worms. During the search, they found a pulley on the ceiling, and it opened up, and it was in his kitchen, and 2 albums with cutouts of children and 2 documents about bondage and autoerotic asphyxiation. Like, children and all that stuff, that's what I'm saying. Like, anything that involves children and animals, I hate it.
Yeah.
But this one, I mean, what really caught my eye was the whole Criminal Minds thing, because I really love Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, because I knew that some of the cases or some of the stuff on the show was kind of slowly or based on some of these things. And I didn't even know about this. Yeah. 2 days later, Bill, the detective, was granted a second search warrant for any documents and photographic materials. Besides the albums, they were found several times. In the albums, they found several listed boys' names, later identified as the boys from Nathan's youth in Massachusetts. It's hard to say. Including 3 that he had molested. I mean, like, that's just... I mean, as a detective, I don't think that's where I could do that job. It's like having to go through all that evidence.
Oh, no. I'd be like vigilante. It'd be hard for me to do something like that and follow the rules.
Mm-hmm.
You know, knowing this guy's out here hurting kids, and, you know, that would be hard for me to do.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
No. But in the album and everything, there was one entry for Zachary Ramsey. Oh my gosh. Zachary Ramsey, the boy that went missing, next to the word died. 3,500 photographs of children, multiple news clipping about Ramsey's disappearance, and undeveloped film containing sexual images of Nathan and 3 unidentified boys were also recovered. Like that, like I said, at that point, like, I think I would just rage as a detective and just attack him, like, and strangle him.
Well, he's got more than has been brought forward in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been doing more in between all this that he didn't even get caught for.
Yeah. This right here. In addition, police discovered a book that was in code that they finally cracked, revealing it was a cookbook with recipes like little boy pot pie, French fried kids, and little boy stew.
No. Oh, that's just horrible.
Yeah.
Ew.
But at the time...
What is wrong with this SOB?
I know. Like that...
Oh my God.
For somebody to sit down and write out a recipe like half an onion, half of an arm.
Yeah.
3 toes.
For real.
Like,
awful.
Bake at 350 and you got yourself a little boy pot pie.
No.
Like that.
Dude, go to the grocery store and get some freaking chicken.
For real.
No.
Get one of those little frozen pot pies.
For real. Those Marie Calendar pot pies are good.
I hate chicken pot pies.
I like them.
No, I grew up eating them all the time when I was a kid, and can't do it. Can't. But even the worst part is when at the time that Ramsey, the little boy, went missing, Zachary, Nathan was actually working part-time in a kitchen on the Malamute Storm Air Force Base. He's working on Air Force Base. And some suspected that he was actually cooking some of the children and remains and feeding them to the co-workers to get rid of the evidence.
Oh my God. Could you imagine being one of his co-workers or anyone that was around that at that time and finding out that he might have done that and you might have eaten someone in your food?
A child.
That's disgusting.
Like a kid.
That would be like major trauma. Like thinking you ate somebody. I can't. Ooh.
That's why I don't eat at, like, we have like potlucks or whatever at work. I don't eat it.
Oh, I don't eat most people's stuff just because people are gross.
I don't know what inside of your house looks like.
Like, you don't exactly. You don't know what people are cleaning, what they're not cleaning. Like, does their cat run on their counters while they're making a sandwich? I can't with that. And no offense to all you cat owners out there, but I can't. An animal should not be walking where you make your sandwich.
I'm telling you.
Do it.
Because, like, they get in the litter box, like, with cats, and they get in the litter box, and they're standing all in that, and then they're all over.
Yep. Nope.
Have you ever tried to wipe a cat's paw? They do not want their feet touched. I mean, there might be people out there that the cats will, but no. But after, like, when all that stuff, the police were still searching inside the house, and they actually found a piece of plywood in Nathan's garage that was scrubbed with bleach and then was struck a few times like a meat cleaver, like it was been hit by a meat cleaver. And so it also could have been used as a cutting board for, say, children. So they did a test. It's called, oh my gosh, I was listening to the way it was pronounced, and I have lost it now. Luminol test. In the same room, and they found the word Tita that has been written on the floor. So a luminol test is a technique that is used as a chemical reaction to detect blood at a crime scene. So I guess they found, like, have you ever seen, like, people, like, they'll, after somebody writes something, like on a piece of paper, you know, when you write something and you rip it off, you can kind of see it underneath. So I don't know if, like, with that test, it lit that part up and it was just the name. Yeah. So they link that name with a boy named James Tita, a 15-year-old boy who was found sexually assaulted and strangled in Ridge, New Hampshire in 1973.
He just got them piling up.
Yeah. And with that, like, the further they investigated and stuff, the police officers feared that Nathan had killed and cooked Ramsey and possible other children. Because it was learned that in the days after he disappeared, Zachary Ramsey disappeared, Nathan will hold cookouts in the neighborhood.
Oh, no.
In which he would serve deer burgers that tasted strange. Like, people would be like, eat the burger and be like, this kind of tastes a little, like, gamey, like, weird and stuff. And then that's when he would be like, oh, yeah, it's deer meat. Like, I hunted, I killed it, I butchered it, and I wrapped the meat, like, all by myself. Nope. But this is what
I'm telling you, if I'm taking a bite of something and it's, like, if it's weird or gamey, I'm done. I'm out. I can't even eat a piece of chicken and bite into the gristle. I'm out. I can't. It's just too gross.
Yeah, I get in my head too much with that meat. Like, the moment like it tastes funny, I'm like looking at it and I'm like, and I'm done. Yeah, I just like push it away. I'm like, nope. But the funny thing is that he said that, you know, he hunted the deer and that he butchered and all that stuff. He never owned a gun. He didn't even have a hunting license. So, and his credit card records show that after Ramsey went missing, he didn't buy groceries for months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Unless he was using cash. Because you really can't track that.
Yeah. But, like, even if he went and took it out of the bank, there would be records showing that he took money out. But yeah, he stopped buying food for months after he disappeared. A former roommate of Nathan said that he had seen a pair of bloody gloves and soiled boys' clothes matching Zachary Ramsey's description inside Nathan's apartment. He even, like, Nathan was surprised. Like, he would say to people, like, several times, he would bring up Zachary. Like, he would bring him up and be like, including one time that he said that Ramsey would never be found and that he had been chopped up and his parts scattered in different places.
Like, and people they just ignored him?
Dude, let me tell you, if we're sitting here talking and then we just bring up some missing person and you say that, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm called the cops on your ass.
I know. Like, you don't just sit in, like, regular conversation and be like, oh, yeah, that boy, he's not going to be found. He's this. How do you know that?
Oh, yeah, because he's chopped up and he's thrown in different places.
That's just...
How do you know that? Yeah, it was... But they would say all that, and then finally, the police, with the evidence they found inside of his house, They actually found a meat grinder. I guess it's like one of those. Inside, they found hair. And they took that hair and they did tests on it. And they also found 21 bone fragments that belonged between a boy between the age of 8 and 13 years old. Oh, this even gets worse right here.
No, it can't get worse than that.
Yeah, they were trying to get the house pipes. They were trying to get it and like do evidence on it, but the neighbors next door replaced the pipes because they were continuously getting clogged. Like, yeah, I don't know why they're clogged.
He's flushing it.
Talking about that, have you? I don't know if this is like a fever dream or like this really happened. There was a story like that where a guy, I don't know if it was like real or if it was like just a movie and made up thing, but it was kind of something like this. Like a guy would kill people and then he would chop them up.
Oh, yeah, it was like in the UK.
Yeah, chopped them up and flushed them down his toilet.
Yeah, and it kept getting clogged up and the neighbors were complaining of the smells and all the stuff. Yeah, no, it happened.
Okay.
I've seen documentaries on it.
Because I'm like, did I watch that documentary? It was like just a movie.
And I'm like, do you really think that like flesh is not going to clog your pipes?
Oh yeah.
Like, what are you thinking? Like, oh, I'm going to flush this. Where do you think it goes?
Like, you ever clogged a toilet before?
I mean, seriously, that's not going to go down.
Yeah. If your own turd and toilet paper rolls down, what do you think a human skull is going to go down?
Right?
Or like
a piece of legs not going down the toilet, dude.
Like that. Like you said, I think he is just kind of like mentally thing, and I guess he wasn't thinking straight or whatever. But I mean, there's multiple other ways you can do that. But flushing down the toilet. But yeah, the neighbors, they got rid of the pipes, so they never got the evidence from that. They did get some with the whole photographs and the hearsay that Nathan has said and stuff. So they got enough to arrest him. But before they arrested him, the bone and the hair that they found in the meat grinder actually belonged to two different African American males. So neither one of them was Zachary Ramsey. So I don't know. I don't even know those two boys. Like, they have no evidence or anything about those boys because most of the time they don't have anything. They go off of dental records.
Yeah.
So nobody knows. This right here, this is Ramsey's mother. So Zachary Ramsey's mother, she says this. This is where I pissed me off with what she said. She said that her son is not dead, or that Nathan was not involved in this at all. That a psychic told her that her son is living in Italy. 10-year-old boy just up and gets on a plane and fucking flies to Italy. Yeah.
She is just, I think she's probably grieving so bad that she's lost him, that she's willing to think anything other than what probably really happened. You know what I mean? So she's probably just creating this whole thing in her head to keep herself from realizing that he's really not here. You know what I mean?
But she also threatened to defend Nathan if he ever was brought to trial for her son's murder. So she's first...
Wow, that's extreme.
Yeah. So she's saying, okay, yeah, he's still alive. He's in Italy, a psychic told me. So if you guys put him on trial, Nathan on trial for his murder, I'm going to defend him.
That's extreme, trying to make yourself feel better about a situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, wow.
So with all that, the charges related to Zachary Ramsey's disappearance were actually dropped, and the police force was forced to focus on the other victims that they found all the information about. 2 names on the list belong to 2 boys who lived in the same apartment building as Nathan, who were in his photographic files. So they went to the boys and was like talking to the boys and being like, okay, hey, tell me what happened. One of the boys confirmed that Nathan invited them over for a sleepover and then molested him. The other boy would visit him in jail and be like, yeah, we're friends. So I don't know if he manipulated him into thinking like this is something okay that is done. Like, we're friends. Friends do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the boys like confessed like, oh yeah, but the other one was like, no, we're friends. Like, it's like nothing happened or whatever. And he was like never harmed and everything. And then another boy, he would write to him, the same boy that visited him, he would write to him too and said that he never harmed him and they were just friends. Like, that's horrible.
Some people don't want to tell either. You know, they feel like ashamed or something and they don't want to tell what happened.
But as I'm not a mother, but for a mother, like, they had to have been there when they were interviewing the boy because he was underage. I would have been like, no, you tell them, like, he's not your friend.
Yeah.
Like, tell him what happened for real. This is not normal. But Nathan was actually charged with sexual assault, aggravated kidnapping, and assault of a deadly weapon. Because they found all that stuff about erotic asphyxiation. I can say that word finally. Look at me. Asphyxiation.
I have a hard time saying it.
But they found all that files and everything that was found in his, I guess you would call it an attic. It's a kitchen pulley. I don't understand that. Like, do they have those? Like back in the day, did they have?
Yeah, it's like an attic. Yeah,
in the kitchen.
I mean, they can be anywhere in an older house. Like, the house that I grew up in, it was in the hall.
Yeah, Reels is in the hall of her house.
So it's like, you know, I mean, nowadays they're usually in the garage, but
mine's
ours is in the garage
ours
now.
Is in the garage too.
I mean, they can be anywhere in the house. I mean,
yeah.
So I guess for some reason it was just in the kitchen to get up in the attic.
Yeah, but he had so much crap up there. But my thing is that, would you consider that trophies?
Yes.
Like the photos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like, when I think of
trophies. Yeah.
I was thinking like trophies. I was thinking like, you know, a piece of clothing, a bracelet, a hair clipping.
Yeah. I mean, they do all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they'll keep anything and everything to remind them of that moment.
But for somebody like, for him, I don't even know. Like, this guy's a sick bastard.
Yeah.
Like,
you think?
Yeah.
Definitely.
But he was convicted and sentenced in 2002. Yeah. I'm trying to think how old I was. That's too much math. Wait, 6? I was 6 years old when he got convicted. He was sentenced to 130 years in prison.
Finally.
But he, without the possibility of parole. And then apparently, from what I read too, that he tried to do like a retrial and stuff, and he was denied.
Yeah, tried to appeal it.
Yeah, appeal it. That's the word. This is a good thing right here, because on April 13, 2008, he was found dead. Nathan was found dead in his cell from a heart attack related to his obesity. So that's what you get. I really hoped that when I was reading this, that somebody did
took
something.
Him out.
Yeah, took him out. I was trying to really nice, but like took him out, or, you know, at least beat the living shit out of him for that stuff. Because, like, okay, you know, jail and prison and all that stuff, there's a lot of, you know, people in there, but one thing they don't fuck around with in there are predators, like rapists, like any of that. Like, they don't mess with that. So they will, if it gets out that you're in there for that, you're pretty much dead meat. But he just died of a heart attack. Freaking bullshit. 3 years later, after all that, Zachary Ramsey's father actually declared him dead. Even like, because his mother was still convinced that, you know, he was in Italy and everything like that. So his father just took it upon himself.
That poor woman.
Yeah,
she just wanted to believe that so much.
And he was really cute. He was just a little cute boy, bless his heart. So like, nobody really knows really what happened to Zachary or anything like that. They couldn't, like I said, they couldn't get any
hard evidence on what happened. Yeah.
So
if he was involved in it or whatever.
So the father declared him dead. So with all that, I found when I was researching all that stuff, these are pretty much a lot of his victims that they found within the arrest and within the files they found. So in Worcester, I'm in my hair. I think of Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Wash your sister sauce. So Worcester, Massachusetts, July 1964. An unnamed 5-year-old girl. She was strangled, but she survived. That's the one from, I think, the basement. And then 1970, an unnamed 6-year-old boy. He was only sexually assaulted. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get better with my wording. Unspecified. I'm so bad. Unspecified date. 2 boys, unnamed. They both escaped. July 26, 1973, Toland, Connecticut. Jancy Catherine Pocket, 7-year-old, possible disappearance, was never found again. August 23rd, 1973, Revere, Massachusetts, disappeared. James Tita, that's the name that they found when they did that test. Was 15, possible sexually assaulted, strangled. His body was found 2 days later in Ridge, New Hampshire. So they did find his body. But it was why is he in New Hampshire? Why did he drive all the way out there to dump the body? That's where, when I was reading these names and stuff, that one, because most of the times it's Connecticut, Massachusetts, and all that stuff, but then this one really threw me out when they found him in New Hampshire. So I don't know what the whole... and then here's another one. Unspecified date in 1974, Woodstock, Connecticut. Mary Petroni. She was 10 years old. She was abducted, sexually assaulted, but she was released. March 1975 in Worcester, Massachusetts. Richard O'Connell. He was 8, abducted, sexually assaulted, non-fatal strangulation. He was escaped. I'm pretty sure that's the one that he's set on, I think. Or he was just another one of his victims, like all the other ones, and it's so horrible all these children had to go through. Here's another one. This happened in Hartford, Connecticut. An unknown 9-year-old girl. She was abducted, sexually assaulted, and she was released. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. All these names, 2 boys unnamed. It was in 1977. Both abducted, burned with a cigarette, and non-fatal strangulation. An unknown boy left for dead after sitting on top of. He escaped, and then the other boy was rescued in the car. 1991, Oxford, Massachusetts. An unknown 7-year-old boy attempted to be killed by sitting on top of him. He sat on top of another boy. And I think that was the one in the car that he got in the car and it was raining. Mm-hmm. An unknown 8-year-old boy was molested only. And then they say this one, they put that in there. It's just one of those I don't know with the whole Zachary thing. The whole thing with his story and everything about Nathan and all that stuff, his case, it really was focused around most of Zachary Ramsey. That's what Morgan's making puppy noises.
My dog's dreaming right now. She's having a little dream and she's making noises.
See if we can hear her. Oh, she opened her eyes. She heard us talking about it. But that's really what kind of made everything so boom and blew him up, was because of, bless his heart, Zachary. Yeah.
Do you think? I think that he did something to him.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, he did.
Because if he was talking about it all the time and saying things, to people he's never coming back and, that kind of stuff, he's had to have done something to him. How are you going to know that? It's sad that they couldn't find anything on him.
And that's where I'm with that stuff too. I'm well, why? Okay, so they're okay, well, he didn't do it. We're just going to drop the charges on Nathan for this whole thing. I just haven't seen any, when I was researching, I haven't seen any more about the case. It's okay, so it's not him that did it. Okay, then who did it?
Right.
Is now, I guess it's just now a cold case. So this episode, I guess, is a mixture of
there's no body or anything. So,
but they, a roommate said that they saw him with bloody gloves and clothes that matched Zach's description of what he was wearing.
Yeah.
And he was in the alley where they saw Nathan at before. And they said they were the car that was following him, the exact same car that was his mother's, and she had the day off. Yeah. So I think he did because he couldn't help him.
All the evidence they had was just people talking.
Yeah.
There was no hard.
Yeah, like here's a photo of him with the boy or anything like that. But yeah, that was the whole thing. And then with that, all that stuff about, the feeding of the neighborhood and everything of that, that's where they took that part and put it in the Criminal Minds episode. And the Criminal Minds episode, it was, for anybody who wants to go and watch it, it was season 3, episode 8. I think the episode is called Lucky. But yeah, that whole part where they're at the search thing, I think it's Spencer Reed who says, he's like, they're feeding it to the people. And they're like, it was like a potted chili. And
I totally remember that.
Yeah.
I've seen every single episode of that show.
Yeah, me too. I still watch it, rewatch it. But yeah, that day, because of all that stuff, that's the part that they cut and put it into the show for him. But the whole kitty pot pie, little boy pot pie, all that
dude is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick. And here again, we normally laugh about stuff and have humor, but when it has to do with kids, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, all those poor little kids. That sick SOB, I can't.
There was a photo when I was doing research and stuff. There was a photo of the recipe, of him writing out the recipe.
Oh,
that caught my eye with this whole case and everything. And I know it's horrible with kids and all that stuff, but just hearing that, I was like, you've got to hear this one. Because I'm like, okay, it has to do with Colonel Lines. That she really likes that. She would know this episode. Because I said, I didn't know, I know that some of these episodes, Colonel Minds, are about stuff.
Yep.
This one, I didn't think that somebody would actually do this, but here's this sick son of a bitch that did it. Poor children, of all things. Yeah, that was horrible. Nathan Bar-Jonah, Jewish guy. I think it's Jewish people, but
sick, nasty SOB.
Yeah, David Paul Brown was his original name, and he changed it to Nathan Bar-Jonah. That was him.
That's awful.
Anyways.
Thanks for sticking with us for this one. Yeah. It was kind of sad, really.
There's 2 of them in a row that were horrible. Yours and then mine.
Yeah.
We'll probably do a better one next time where it's a little bit happy.
I mean, this is true crime. So, you don't really get better, I guess. But some of them don't involve kids, so
not too dark.
Yeah. But again, thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you on our next video.
Bye. Bye.